Hi everyone, I'm Sam Savage from South Coast Weddings and I'm here chatting with Sadie Osborne. Hello.
Hey.
So Sadie is a wedding photographer. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
So tell us all about Sadie Osborne Photography.
Where to start? See, that's the hard bit. Well, I'm Sadie Osborne, I can see, and Sadie Osborne Photography, I am a wedding photographer. Actually, we have, in the past year, we've actually become a team of 2 now. So there are 2 people in Sadie Osborne Photography.
Congratulations.
Thank you, no worries. Took a long time to expand because as most people know, I'm very slow with things. I'm very particular. Because obviously I want to keep the photography, that's like the ultimate passion of mine. And I just want to keep that so tight. So doing something like expanding a business was like nuts for me. So took a while, but we did it. And my secondary photographer is Kirsty, and she is awesome. She's like a second version of me. So there's 2 of us now. Yeah, we deal mostly in wedding photography because we absolutely love weddings so much. Yeah, so we do quite a lot of weddings per year, and yeah, we just love it. Just wedding photography. It's all of it. It's wedding photography. Love it.
What's not to love?
Exactly.
So what area do you cover with your business?
Predominantly cover Dorset, but pretty much wherever the photography is calling us. I mean, we do lots of weddings outside of Dorset, so nearer counties, and also I do quite a lot of destination weddings, so over the world. So that's always fun when you get a destination wedding because they're just like a photographer's dream of experience because you get to deal with like different cultures, different light, different architecture, and it's so exciting. And because when you go on a destination wedding, you're with the family for quite a long time, so you create a really, really, really strong bond, and it's awesome. It's like you gather like so many like new friends, and you just become a part of the family. So yeah, so Dorset and beyond, worldwide, we'll say.
The world is your oyster. Amazing. So do you offer packages to people? What are the choices?
So over the years, I've been doing Sadie Osborne Photography, which I started as a business officially in 2012. Over the years, I used to do lots of different packages, and then I found that my clients were always kind of leaning towards the all-day experience. So at the moment, I only offer the all-day package because that's what the majority of people that wanted it, and also for me, I feel with photography and the way I photo, it's wedding photography is like a visual narrative. It's like a whole story of your day, and I love the fact that everything is in that story. It's like you wouldn't read a book without an end or a beginning. Like you want the whole thing to capture the whole emotion. So at the moment, it's all day awesomeness.
Amazing. And nothing less. So what got you started? What inspired you to start photography or specifically wedding photography?
That's a really good question. That's like, now I've got to go right back into the history books of my mind right now. So basically, I won't do the long story, but I'll do the short story. When I was at school, for some reason I wanted to be a lawyer. If you look at me now, if you know me, you would know I'm definitely not lawyer material. Even though I do like a debate now and again. Anyways, I wanted to be a lawyer. I went to a sixth form and just found that the academic system was just it just didn't roll with me. I had a bit of a rebellious stage. I walked out and I was like, nah, no. But I've always had creativeness in my bones. So I went to a college that was local to me, and I did A-level photography, and I was working with black and white film. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever worked with black and white film, like developing it and like developing the pictures, printing the pictures, and I just got hooked, and I was in that dark room just the whole 2 years I was there. And I love the fact that I could capture something. Like it was something that I wanted to capture, or someone asked me to capture, and it wasn't just like an object in that picture. There was a lot of depth in that image, and also a lot of emotion, and I could give that image to someone and I could make them, I don't know, laugh, smile, like really think about something, or just feel something inside. And I was like, whoa, this is powerful. I was like, this is crazy, because I've never been good with words. I could never convey that, but with images I could. And I was like, I feel this was a purpose that I could kind of speak that language. So I went to university and did commercial photography degree. Didn't really like that very much, but I knew I loved photography. So when I come out of uni, I did as much work experience as I could with, I don't know, newspaper photographers, studio photographers, portrait photographers, still life photographers, photoshops, and then I found a wedding photographer. And I did a lot of work experience with a wedding photographer, became a second shooter, and realised I just loved it. I loved the environment. I loved being somewhere where everyone was just happy. The energy was so positive. And I loved the fact I could capture all of that energy and emotion. And then I could give those images to that couple and that family, and they could relive those images. And I just got hooked. And I kind of, in a way, I fell in it, but it was a great fall in it. And that's how it did. That's how I kind of got into it, and just been doing it ever since.
You can tell you're not at all passionate about it.
No, I'm really not, am I? Sorry, I do go off on a tangent. So
no, absolutely fine. It's good that you have a passion for what you do. I love it.
I do love it. I got a heart for it.
So what's the process when people get in touch with you? What's the process you go through with them?
So a big thing with me is I'm 100%, I love connection with people. So the way the process works with me is that's the main thing I want. I want to create a connection. I want to create friendship. And above all, I want to create trust. So in first instance, they'll probably go on my website and I'll get an inquiry, and then it kind of starts, all typing and all that jazz. But instantly I want to get to meet them. I just want them to come to my office, or I want to come to their house, and I just want to literally speak, in person. So then we have a meeting. So we have a good old chat. I mean, I think my longest meeting to date has been about, I think it was 2 hours, 45 minutes.
She's never leaving your house, people.
That's true. I mean, I've had meetings where we go around and we spend about, I don't know, like half an hour chatting about wedding stuff, but then we spend the rest of like an hour or so just talking about normal stuff. But to some people that might seem kind of a bit bizarre, but to me that's so important, because I want to get to know that couple inside and out. Because when I photograph them, I've kind of already got this kind of image of how they are, their characteristics, their love story together, like how they are individually, so then I can successfully portray that through the imagery. So I spend a lot of time on meetings, and then we do a pretty awesome pre-wedding shoot or / engagement shoot, whichever one you want to call it. So then we meet up again, hanging out again. So we go to somewhere that means something special to them, and we crack out a fun photo shoot, which is, I always include that in my packages because I don't believe in charging extra for it, because again, it's another step of creating that trust. Also, it breaks the ice a bit as well. So on the wedding day, it's not like, oh my God, who's that with the camera? It's like, oh, there's Sadie, she's doing a thing. Gotcha, cool. And it's really fun, and it's just, they get to see how I work as a photographer. I get to see how they are in front of a camera. So that's cool. They get all those images back so they can use them in the wedding and all that jazz, or just put them at home, or give them to family for Christmas presents if you want. Winner, that's a tip there for that. And then after that, if they do want another meeting, we can, but we're always constantly in contact. And then the wedding day rolls up, and then I roll in, and off we go. Good times ahead. So that's the process. Oh, do you want to know the process after as well?
If you want to tell us, please.
Then we shoot the wedding. That's good times. You have a dance on the dance floor and all that jazz. And then I come back to the office where I am now, and I just work through all of the images. Obviously, I love the editing side as well, because it's really special for me, because I get to like see that story again. So I'm like, so when I'm looking, I'm like, oh, I remember that time. I remember that. Like they're really going to like that photo. And it's really nice because you see all of it come together. It is a big story. And it's really lovely as a photographer, because when like a couple choose you as a photographer, they could have chose whoever, but they chose you. And it's really lovely because their whole wedding and their whole story is basically told by me. And like, that is one of the biggest things that gets me, that you were chosen to kind of portray that story. That's your vision. And it's like, what? And once that's done, then I give it back to them, and then they get to go through it. And it's just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
When you're taking a photo, do you get really achy ticks? Because I find if I'm taking a photo of someone and they're like laughing and joking, I'm smiling as if I'm in the photo as well. So if I was a photographer, I think at the end of the day, I would be like, oh my God, my cheeks ache.
Yeah, I get major like cheek ache all the time. Like it's beautiful because like in a weird way, like I know this might sound a bit spiritual, a bit out there, but when you're a photographer at a wedding, especially with me at a wedding, you kind of pick up on people's energy. Like people always ask me, oh, how did you get that picture? Or, oh, how did you do this? And I say to them, I don't know. Like I didn't plan that to happen, but you feel something happen. So if the couple is with you, you're photographing them, and they shared a moment where it's very emotionally connected, and there's just something that sparks. It's like this energy radiates from them, and then it just like hits me in the face, and I'm just like, whoa, I can feel that, and then I capture it. So it's true, like you do pick up on the energy, and you do get cheek ache, like just like this.
And this might be a really difficult question because you've done tons and tons and tons of weddings. But are there any particular ones that stick out in your mind for any reason as being memorable?
That is a really difficult question. Any photographer will tell you that's a difficult question. It's difficult because for me, each wedding has a different feeling, because each wedding has a different couple. That couple's love is very like unique to themselves, so it has a certain feeling to it. So each wedding has its own characteristics that become memorable. I think for me, a memorable wedding is a wedding where I've created a really, really deep connection with that couple, and it's stayed in me because they've kind of, when you create a deep connection with a couple, it's almost like you get an instant respect, and they want you to be there, and it's like you're part of the family, and that's really lovely, and that stays with me a lot. I mean, you could say like obviously some couples have like, you know, this and that at weddings, but for me it's not about material things, it's about like emotion and connection. So I mean, that is really difficult because I love all of them and they're all unique in their own special way.
That's okay. Very diplomatic though too. You're not favouring any couples. That's understandable. So if people want to find you, find your website where they can look at your beautiful wedding photographs, how do they do that? What's your website?
My website is pretty simple. It's www.sadieosborne.co.uk. I have had a look, and there's not many other Sadie Osborne photographers out there, so chances are you will find me. Yeah. Obviously there's Instagram, which is Sadie Osborne, and then Facebook, Pinterest. There is YouTube as well if you'd like to see my face even more. But
this video will also end up on YouTube, so they will hopefully find you one way or the other. And Sadie's based in Dorset, so if nothing else, put Sadie Osborne Photography Dorset, and she will definitely be the only one that comes up. So definitely have a look for Sadie Osborne Photography if you're looking for a wedding photographer. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us all about your amazing business and your passion for your work. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It's like I said, sorry I go on a tangent all the time. It's just sometimes the passion does get the better of me. But I do really appreciate your time. I appreciate anybody's time if they talk to me about photography, because it's my whole heart, my whole being. I just live it and breathe it. So I really appreciate it too. Thank you. I'm very grateful.
Don't worry, I am the queen of going off on tangents, so don't you worry about that at all. And thank you everybody for watching. I'm Sam Savage from South Coast Weddings, and my website is southcoastweddings.co.uk, and enjoy the rest of your day.